Hey, all right, everybody. We got our Connected Roots call here, and today we're going to be talking about dieting and getting in shape and how that fits into the program. Because a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about what it takes to get in shape. We've been sold this idea that if you want to lose weight, you just need to eat less and just starve yourself.
Uh-oh.
But the reality is that when you do that, you trigger your stress hormones. Your body goes into um, kind of emergency mode where it says, uh-oh, we're not getting enough energy for everything we need to do. So we're going to slow down our metabolic functions. This is kind of like when your phone is running out of battery and it says you want to go on low power mode. But if you're on low power mode, you cannot lose weight. You cannot get in shape. You can definitely starve yourself indefinitely and get into a much skinnier physique, but that is not going to be healthy. And this actually is true for the opposite for people like me who actually were too skinny and could not gain weight and build muscle. They're two sides of the same coin, being overweight and being underweight. So when we properly address nutrition, we provide enough of what the body actually needs. At first, you might gain some weight, and you might say, "Oh, geez, I was trying to lose weight. Why did I have to gain 5 or 10 pounds?" Well, because it takes that amount of extra weight for your body to finally feel safe, to start shedding the fat that it's stored. And then, if you're also doing weightlifting and eating right, you will start building more muscle. And so the ratio of muscle to fat will improve. And sure, you could get down to being like a bodybuilder physique, but that's really probably not going to be that healthy for you either. We're supposed to have a little bit of padding, just a little bit of body fat, especially women. That doesn't mean that you have to be overweight. It means that you can look healthy, have healthy looking curves, but most importantly, feel good. Your hormones are working properly. You have energy. You sleep well. You don't have pain or digestion problems. So it's a bit of a trade off, right? We're getting rid of this paradigm that says, oh, just eat less. You'll lose weight, but you'll still have all of those problems, digestion problems, hormone problems, everything else. But at least you'll be skinny. Because the reality is that most of the people that you see that are showing off their super skinny physiques and bodies probably have a lot of other health problems. And I know I can speak from personal experience having worked with women who were models, men who were bodybuilders. They may have had the ideal physique, but they were not happy with it. Did not work well. So in order to get our body out of this stress of chronic dieting and poor nutrition, this first step might be to gain a little bit of weight. And then when the body says, oh, actually, I feel safe, it will start building muscle and letting go of the fat, because fat is metabolically expensive. It takes a lot more energy to support muscle than it does to support some fat. Fat is basically inert, just stored energy. But muscle is constantly working and moving and burning energy. So if you want to build muscle, you have to first start eating as if you have the muscle. And if you want to lose weight, you have to eat and exercise as if you are your ideal weight. This process will take time. It's not something that happens overnight, and it depends on how broken your metabolism is when you start. How long have you been doing yo-yo diets or skipping breakfast or doing low carb or low fat? All of these things add up, and eventually you can fix them. But you have to have patience and you have to trust that your body will do what's right for your body instead of trying to force it to do the things that you think it should be doing. And that's basically it. Any questions?
Yeah, I think also it's a big misunderstanding that you have to. I mean, if you're going to be doing this, that you have to spend hours. You have to spend a lot of money on a gym membership, and you have to be there like hours, like every day,
Right.
which is
Yeah, that's not the
really
case.
the case.
Yeah, that's not the case. You should be moderately active. You should go for walks. You should definitely exercise, and you should lift weights, but not spend hours in the gym, because that creates more stress. So if we just break up activity throughout the day, where like I have a kettlebell in my living room, I have a pull-up bar in my office, and things like that, and I just break up my movement, my exercise into small chunks during the day after meals, and make sure that I don't deplete my glycogen, which is the stored energy in the muscles. So if we do prolonged cardio exercise, we run for a half an hour or an hour, and we don't replenish that with sugar, then our body's going to start going into stress mode. So cortisol triggers your body to release epinephrine, and your body starts to produce glucose called gluconeogenesis, and this actually creates hyperglycemia. You produce more sugar than your body needs or wants to have in your blood, and that is a big part of like the runner's high. People are actually just kind of addicted to the stress hormones that happen when you completely deplete your glycogen stores. So a much better model that reduces stress is to eat, and once you feel comfortable with your digestion, to do a little bit of weight exercising, do Wim Hof breathing, do push-ups, maybe do some short sprints for 5 to 10 minutes at most. But then shortly after that, replenish with, I like to drink my coffee after my workout. I drink my coffee with maple syrup, and I put collagen powder in there and milk. And I feel like that really helps replenish me, and then I don't feel sore or tired or achy after working out.
Yeah, so that's why like people would get up and say, they would say, oh, I can't eat in the morning and then work out. They say, oh, yeah, I got to go out and run, and they feel like, oh, I got to get this done, and then they feel kind of depleted, and it's like, oh, I'm ready for lunch. and then I, and if,
That was me for many years.
and especially, I guess, if they're then working, at a job or something, then they're not probably going to be eating sufficiently anyway, because they're maybe eating at their desk or something like that. And so then you develop kind of a bad kind of cycle.
Yeah. Right, and we've played into this, socially, where we've created this idea that intermittent fasting and not eating for breakfast and everything like that is actually really good for you, when it's absolutely not. And so I fell victim to that, because I was like, oh, I'm just not hungry in the morning. And the reality is that your cortisol spikes when you wake up, and if you don't eat, then your cortisol stays high, and your body will produce energy, and you feel like, oh, I'm not really hungry, I can just keep pushing through. And so part of this is retraining the body to eat first thing in the morning. So you almost have to force yourself. And this is why we start with that orange juice and coconut water, and collagen, things like that, first thing in the morning, because if you're not hungry, you can at least get down some liquid, and it's going to teach your body that, oh, hey, energy is coming first thing in the morning, right when I wake up, and then cortisol gets reduced. And then you have less stress, physiological stress in your body for the rest of the day.
People that, so you should be, to keep your metabolism going like strong throughout the day, and it doesn't slow down, you should be eating about every couple hours or so, like that.
Yeah, exactly. So And that will depend, right? As your metabolism gets stronger and healthier, you can probably space that out even more. So some people have to eat every 2 hours at the beginning, and then after a while you won't be hungry for 3 or 4 hours. And that is a sign of like the digestion's improving, and so the person's able to eat more, consume more, and then better regulate their blood sugar. And when that starts happening, that's when the body fat goes away. And if we do it that way, then the extra fat melts away on its own without a lot of extra effort. It doesn't become a struggle where you're battling against your body anymore. And you're able to maintain it without having to deprive yourself of things like sugar or ice cream or gluten.
What can you say for people that that feel they're overweight, and I think I just couldn't possibly eat every couple hours. I couldn't possibly. I'm gonna weigh even more, and then so what can you suggest about that?
Yeah, that you have a choice to either fix your broken metabolism that's going to keep you fat no matter what you do. Even if you starve off the weight, if you don't actually fix the metabolism, the metabolic problems, as soon as you get off of your starvation diet, it comes back. So it's just it's just a choice. Do you want to keep doing that, or do you want to create something that's sustainable?
I guess it's also see do and see, or rather than it's a mind game too. I mean, so it doesn't make, to some degree in your mind, it's maybe not logical, and many things aren't, how we've been trained in a certain way to think about things, and you have to get around this these tricks your mind are playing on you, and
Yep.
to actually just start and see what happens, and
Yeah.
then
And most importantly is that when you start this process, you feel better. You have more energy, your digestion is better, your hormones improve, and then eventually the extra weight comes off. For some people, it's sooner than later. It just depends. But what's more important is to how you look or how you feel, right?
much
And
better how you feel, yeah, because that's
yeah,
how you
for most people.
check
And
it.
if you feel good and eventually you look good too, you can have it both ways. You just can't have it flipped. You can't starve yourself of the weight and then try to fix all these problems.
And we're in a society so much depends on what you look like,
Yeah.
and it's, yeah, so that can be hard. um
Hmm.
how about for people that um either they want to eat, or having to eat every couple hours, or say you're going on a trip or something, and you don't really have time to make um something to take with you. Are there things that possibly you could, like, there's all this, now you see it, such a proliferation of all these energy bars, and so
Yep.
many of them are, they have, they're filled with all these gums and all these kind of fillers and things that really are not going to be very good for you.
Right.
um do
Yeah.
you
So you
have
plan ahead. We always bring gummies wherever we go. We bring fruit, cheese, um, beef jerky, make a sandwich.
mhm,
Right. Eat real food. Don't eat things that come out of a foil package.
right,
Um,
are there any things that you could possibly make that would give you the satisfaction of like one of these? Like, are there things that like, can you make the uh
make a cookie. Make cookies with collagen in them. Collagen and butter.
mhm.
Real food.
So, okay, so like cookies, like, and you can put like things in them, like protein filled things like nuts and um, things like that, or
Yeah, yeah. We just make
oat
cookies with collagen protein. Maybe put you can put chocolate chips in there, or put
chip, mhm,
raisin, or make lemon cookies, whatever.
mhm,
Just use lots of butter and add collagen.
butter and collagen. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. That's why the most famous cookie shop in New York City is Levan Bakery, and it was these marathon runners, and yeah, they were doing it right. They said, oh, when we're running, we're gonna need something to fuel us up, so they made these cookies with tons of butter. They're huge cookies, tons of butter, tons of calories in them, and then it kept their bodies fueled. But
Again,
you can make smoothies, you can make teas, coffee, put collagen, put maple syrup, right? Those things that will nourish you while you're on the go.
right. So and so there has a certain amount of sugar in there that um and yeah, I mean this idea that we can't eat sugar, is also I think adds into this idea of I can't lose weight, I can't eat any of this sugar. So they, and as I've learned that sugar is, your body kind of runs on sugar to a certain degree. Everything I think you said, except for like the red blood cells, really need
Right.
sugar.
Yeah, sugar doesn't cause the problems. I mean, sure, you can overdo everything, but sugar in moderation is not the problem. People have been eating sugar for hundreds of years. That doesn't what cause the issue. What changed in our diet? Polyunsaturated fats, vegetable oils, all the processed stuff. That's what changed.
Yeah. So if you start that, I mean that I think even just that, eliminating the
Yep.
poopas.
Yeah, exactly. And then over time, you can repair your insulin sensitivity, and your cells stop starving, and you get out of stress. And that's what we do. And when you do that, then your body starts using energy efficiently, and you don't have to starve yourself anymore. You can feel good, look good, not deprive yourself. All right, so I'm gonna let us wrap up there. Thanks for being on the call. All
Thanks
right.
so much.
Yeah. All
Have a
right.
great one.
Thanks. You too.